Good afternoon, Toastmasters. I named this speech finally because I finally got to speak at this club. Been coming here since September, October, and I've raised my hand since December. Every single meeting I've come to. Finally got a speech, so thank you.
Thanks, great.
Thank you.
I noticed him, and I was gone 1 week, so I couldn't do it to you, but I came back this week.
Thank you.
My bad, dude.
It's okay. Anyways, Toastmasters, I'd like you to imagine a place much like Charleston with Spanish moss growing in the shade of live oaks, 18 green grass squares with pre-Civil War era houses because Sherman didn't quite burn the city. I'm talking of Savannah. This is my home. This is where I'm from. I was born and raised in Savannah. I'm a Georgia boy at heart. Lived there for 18 years. Decided to move to South Carolina for God knows what reason. And much of who I am comes from the city of Savannah. It's an old, historical southern city. It's beautiful. Rated number 2 after Charleston of the most beautiful southern cities in the South, or cities in the South, rather. My parents are both from North Carolina. My father from Asheville, a hippie town in the mountains, raised rather liberally, while my mother was raised in Mooresville, North Carolina, which is a more conservative background of a town. These two lifestyles and kind of traits build who I am, because I'm a free spirit, but I also like to get work done when it's time to work. I like to say that North Carolina, when I cross those state boundaries, I'm no longer a Georgia native. I'm a North Carolina native, because I feel at home whenever I cross that border into North Carolina. And that's really, it's come into my heart because every single time my mother and I go to North Carolina, I always can recall the memory of her honking the horn because she's so excited to be home in her home state. And it's a great feeling. Another thing you need to know about me is I love coffee. I love it. I live with it. If I can't have coffee, 5 cups a day, shot espresso, I can't get my work done. It's probably grown over the amount of time that I've dated a Honduran girl, and now I drink more than I have. I started drinking when I was 15, probably quadruple the amount of intake of coffee I have every single day, just because of that reason. I'd like to go back to talking about Savannah for a few minutes in light of the holiday of St. Patrick's Day. Savannah is the second largest St. Patrick's Day celebration in the United States of America, after Boston. Boston, they dye the rivers green. We dye our beautiful fountains with green water. An interesting characteristic about Savannah's St. Patrick's Day celebration is that you have 2 sets of characters, the ones that are marching in the parade and the ones that are watching. How many people in here are Irish? So we got about 7 out of what, 35 probably? So a fifth. Everybody raise their hands. Everyone, come on, put them up. Raise your hands. In Savannah on St. Patrick's Day, everyone's Irish, no matter your descent. It's a great feeling to walk around with your green on. If you don't have your green on, you're going to get pinched no matter what. You can guarantee that. And you feel a part of a culture. Maybe it's not your own, but it's important to Savannah's culture because it's been celebrated since the 1800s, this parade. So this is important to me, and I appreciate your time for finally letting me give you a speech. Thank you so much.